The sun is just setting, and the soft orange light filters through the kitchen window. A small home, not far from the city center. At the table, a person absent-mindedly stirs their coffee, brow furrowed, scrolling through a list of bills on their phone. Rent due next week, utility charges climbing steadily, groceries that somehow cost more every month. They lean back with a sigh, glancing out the window where the kids play in the fading light, carefree. It's a quiet scene, filled with a subtle tension. That feeling of trying to catch your breath, but never quite making it. A pressure that isn't about any single bill or expense, but something more insidious, like you're running in place, while life's cost keeps ticking up just out of reach. My name is Dave, and I spend way too much time thinking about the cost of living. This conversation is for anyone who has ever felt stuck by the rising expenses that come with life. Not just those drowning in debt, but also the ones who earn steadily, work hard, and still wonder why their money never seems to stretch far enough. If you want to understand the quiet trap that many sensible, hardworking people fall into, you might find something here worth your time. And if it feels familiar, well, you're not alone. Have you ever been told that earning more is the key to living better? It makes sense when you think about it. More money means more options, a nicer place to live, a better car, eating out more often, maybe even a vacation. That idea, the belief that income growth naturally solves financial struggles, feels like common sense. It's deeply woven into the way we talk about success and security. When someone struggles, it's often said they just need to make more, as if that's the ultimate fix. After all, money buys things, and things make life easier. So why wouldn't more money make the pressure go away? But here's where things start to get complicated. The belief makes emotional sense. It's comforting to think that bigger paychecks or bonuses are the answer. It aligns with cultural stories about upward mobility, hard work paying off, and holding tight to a lifelong career. Social expectations push us in the same direction too. Friends and family see a raise and expect a lifestyle upgrade. Peers might move into better neighborhoods or buy new electronics, and suddenly you feel left out if you don't do the same. It's a cycle that feels natural because it's happening all around you, every day. You want to fit in, to belong, and to show that you're thriving. When we slow down to look at this through a simple math lens, things become clearer, but also more troubling. Imagine someone earns $30,000 a year, just enough to get by in their town. They get a new job that pays $35,000, so an extra $5,000 a year. On paper, that's progress, a 15% boost. Great, right? Now, if the cost of rent, utilities, groceries, and transportation doesn't stay the same, but instead rises to match or exceed that income bump, then the extra $5,000 doesn't become savings. It merely covers the new costs. A tiny increase in spending here, a new subscription service there, or a more expensive but more comfortable apartment. These can swallow that extra cash quickly. The result? The person's bank account looks no healthier than before, but their lifestyle has adjusted upward. It's almost automatic, like the money disappears before it can settle. This is the core of the cost of living trap. The slow, creeping effect of expenses adjusting with income, eroding potential gains. We can see this again with a different math example. Suppose the same person starts saving $500 a month instead of just $100, thanks to the raise. Over the next 10 years, that difference compounds significantly. But if inflation averages just 2 or 3% each year, and their expenses rise right alongside, the true value of that saving is less than it might seem. Even worse, if new fees or lifestyle costs grow faster than income, the saving power shrinks more steeply. Time stretches the problem out, revealing that the foundation of income growth needs to be matched with control over spending, or else the cycle continues. To make this real, imagine Sarah, a schoolteacher in her early 30s. She gets a raise after a few years of steady work. Instead of holding back, she decides to finally upgrade her apartment, moving to a building with nicer amenities and a better neighborhood. The rent alone jumps by $200 a month. Sarah also treats herself to a gym membership and occasionally eats out more often, feeling that with the raise, she's earned the right to enjoy a little more comfort. At the end of each month, she's surprised to find her bank balance barely changed, even though she brought home more money. She didn't waste it. She made entirely reasonable choices. But the shift in lifestyle choices, made quietly and with good intention, gradually eroded the benefit of her raise. It's not a failure on Sarah's part, but part of a broader pattern. Some viewers might wonder, isn't that just smart money management? Maybe the system is fine if you learn to plan better or find bargains. What about cutting expenses, cooking more at home, skipping concert tickets? It's a fair point and worth addressing calmly. Managing money wisely can absolutely make a difference. Budgets and frugality have their place. But the cost of living trap isn't just about individual choices. It emerges from structural forces like inflation rates, wage trends, housing markets, and cultural pressures that shift expenses in tandem with income. Sometimes, no matter how skilled one is at budgeting, certain costs rise automatically. The trap doesn't vanish when you bandage it with frugality because the core challenge is the system itself, not just your habits. Looking at the bigger picture, the pattern becomes even clearer. Across decades and different regions, people with varied backgrounds fall into nearly identical cycles. It's a systemic issue, not a personal failing. Economic data from government reports and think tanks often show that median wage growth barely keeps pace with cost increases. Housing prices, health insurance, education, and childcare costs tend to outgrow earnings. This pattern repeats like gears in a machine, turning slowly but inexorably. It's less about individual decisions and more about the way the economic environment nudges people towards spending more as they earn more, until the freedom that income promises feels just out of reach. This makes me wonder, how do you define financial progress when your expenses grow as fast as your income? Can we distinguish between lifestyle upgrades that bring true joy and those that just fill a gap created by rising costs? What role does social comparison play in pushing us to spend rather than save? If the system nudges everyone towards spending more, how can we create breathing room in our personal finances? These questions don't have easy answers, but they invite reflection that goes deeper than numbers or quick fixes. To reframe this, consider the cost of living trap as less about your wallet and more about your financial environment. It's like trying to run up an escalator that's moving downward. The energy you put in keeps you in roughly the same place. The better question might not be, how do I run faster? But is there another path or strategy that changes direction or speed? This shift in perspective helps us see that earning more is just one part of the equation. Understanding the push and pull between income and expense dynamics offers a clearer view of how to manage finances wisely. If I were to sum up what we've explored so far, without making it feel like a conclusion, it would be that the cost of living trap is a subtle dance between expectations, reality, and systems beyond any single person. It's okay to feel stuck sometimes because what you're facing is a complex challenge, not a simple mistake. Being aware that rising expenses will often shadow raises or bonuses is a powerful insight. It's the first step toward unwrapping the problem and imagining different possibilities. Now, to bring in the first analogy, think about this like cooking a meal. You might buy better ingredients when you get a raise, hoping for a tastier dinner. But if the recipe demands more sophisticated preparations or additional spices to balance these ingredients, your cooking time and effort increase. If you only add better ingredients without adjusting the recipe itself, the meal might improve in quality but also require more from you: time, energy, utensils, or cleanup. In financial terms, better income without amended spending habits or strategies still demands more inputs, which may diminish the gains you hoped for. Then there's a second analogy from the world of gaming. Imagine you're playing a game where the difficulty level increases slightly each round, matching your skill improvement. You may win individual battles more often, but because the challenges rise in tandem, your overall progress towards the big goal remains steady or slow. Unless you find an unexpected strategy, skill, or power-up that changes the dynamic, you're stuck in a loop. Like life's cost, the game adapts to your growth, requiring more than just effort to truly advance. Despite all of this, it's important to say that feeling caught in the cost of living trap doesn't suggest failure or lack of effort. The system is designed in a way that nudges, sometimes pushes us toward these patterns. Being stuck is understandable, considering the forces at play. If reflecting on this felt helpful, it might also help another who is wrestling silently with the same challenge. If that resonates, I'm glad you were here for this conversation. Now, that raises a new question. How does this cost of living trap relate to what I call the paycheck trap? How does the cycle of spending more as you earn more feed into other lasting financial patterns? That's a topic I'd be curious to explore with you. For now, if you ever want to dig into that, there's room to unpack it thoughtfully. The journey through these financial realities is slow and steady, just like the realities they reflect. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you're feeling weighed down by these pressures, know that you're not alone, and there's no shame in taking the time to understand the system rather than blaming yourself. Here's to thoughtful steps forward.